Hi everyone, Lissette here with Casa Carrillo. So how many of you are familiar with La Historia Silk? This is a limited production cigar that I blended that was inspired by women, but made for everyone. And the feedback has been great. Women as well as men have enjoyed the cigar, talked to me a lot about just the background and the experience leading up to it. You can find more information on our website at casacarrillocigars.com. So what else did I have in mind with silk? Well, silk was blended with flow in mind, how each tobacco enters, supports, and exits the experience, right? So in choosing the different tobaccos that are composed in silk, a lot of thought went into how the flow of the cigar was going to take place. So in this cigar, the tobaccos are not meant to stand alone. Each component is set up for the next, creating the cigar that basically moves deliberately, right? So what is the blend? So inside the blend series, we're going to explore silk. We have inside the blend series for several of our cigars. And this one I'm obviously very excited about because it's a personal endeavor of mine and the first true cigar that I participated heavily in the blending. Obviously, my dad came in and helped. So the wrapper on this cigar is Ecuadorian Habano. The binder is Nicaraguan Estelí. And then we have 4 fillers. The Pennsylvania Broadleaf, we have Estelí Nicaragua as well. We have Dominican from La Canela, and then we also have Mexican San Andrés. So our legacy is Cuba, US, and Dominican Republic, and these fillers were chosen with that in mind, and to represent also a history of our company. For example, the Broadleaf is from the US. The Mexican San Andrés pays tribute to the wrapper in La Historia, and that's why that was played into the mix. Then we have the Dominican from La Canela, representing our Dominican roots where our factory is. And then also we have Nicaraguan Estelí, which is a region that we are fascinated with. That's some of the best tobacco in the world. So let's talk about how the blend comes together. The Ecuador wrapper opens up the cigar. Obviously, that's something that is very intentional. Right away, you're going to be seduced by the beauty of the wrapper and then the taste. That initial opening is something that is very important, obviously, to capture your attention. So it's introduced with I would say what you taste is toasted cedar, light spice, and a subtle natural sweetness. That sweetness right away creates this balance, right, which doesn't rush the palate. Immediately you start tasting the nuances of the sweetness, the light spice, and that cedar working together. And the wrapper's role really in this cigar is about control. It gives the blend space to unfold instead of announcing everything at once, right? So nothing's going to hit you right away, like shockingly, right? Like in some of the cigars they could be very strong. And obviously those cigars are wonderful as well. But this one is a little more subtle in its opening. Now, what does the binder do in this cigar? How does that play in with the wrapper and with the fillers? The Nicaraguan Estelí binder here anchors the profile. It adds a firmness to the smoke and a subtle mineral-driven spice that is from the region. It's very typical from the region, and that keeps the flavors focused. So as the wrapper, the binder, and the fillers interact, you're going to notice a balance and a consistency. So rather than adding weight, the Estelí binder provides clarity in some ways. I know that that's kind of a strange, way to express it, but once you try the cigar, you're going to understand better what I mean. It gives it some structure, and it ensures that the cigar stays composed as the fillers begin to layer, right? So you've got 4 fillers here doing some work, and how they interact with each other, and the wrapper and the binder is very important in how this profile, develops and progresses. So first you have the Pennsylvania Broadleaf. these fillers are not designed to function as a single system versus the reality, which is that they're all integrated, right? So they don't just work on their own. Some cigars have just one filler, two fillers. So here we really took our time and tried to figure out how do these interact. So the broadleaf actually forms the base of the blend. It brings a bold texture to it. It introduces deeper notes such as cocoa, earth, and a gentle savoriness that gives the smoke presence without any heaviness, right? So that's where the cocoa taste starts coming in. It balances really well with the sweetness that I was talking about that is introduced with the wrapper. Then you have the Mexican San Andrés. Again, we chose that because of what it adds to the whole blend, but also we wanted to be true to La Historia and basically give honor to that wrapper, which when we had used it initially in La Historia was one of the first times that we used a Mexican San Andrés. So the San Andrés here builds dimension on the foundation, right? What do I mean by that? Well, it contributes darker earth tones, right, than we were experiencing before, and a richness, but that in some ways is restrained to work with all of the other tobaccos in the cigar. It adds a contrast and depth while remaining balanced by the broadleaf structure. So here, the broadleaf and the Mexican San Andrés are highly working together, I guess, significantly, creating a flavor that is working with the other tobaccos in the cigar. Then we have the Dominican from the La Canela region. My dad really loves this region a lot. And in this cigar, and with the fillers that it's working with, it creates cohesion. So it smooths the transition with softer notes, hints of warm baking spices, and again, a subtle sweetness, keeping the profile seamless as the cigar evolves. So there's no harsh disruptions here. Everything kind of just goes very, very smoothly. And that's something that I've heard a lot about the cigar, is that it's a truly enjoyable, it's actually medium strength cigar, but at the same time, very smooth. So what does the additional filler from Estelí do here? It maintains momentum. So it reinforces this blend with a steady underlying spice and brightness. It prevents the profile from flattening or allowing the flavors to continue developing through the smoke. It basically allows for all of these different flavors to keep playing with each other, right? It allows the flavors to, work together without any disruption. And being that the binder is also from Estelí, it creates a very nice balance and doesn't let this, at the finish, disappear, right? The smoke lingers, it stays with you. It's something where it creates a memorable experience, and the tobaccos are all kind of playing into each other's roles and heightening where it has to and softening where it has to. So that's how these four fillers work together. Now, what emerges in a cigar that builds gradually, it settles into a balance and carries through with intention, right? So the different tobaccos here are playing intentionally. This is something that we test and we create a deliberate experience, especially when you're using four different fillers, right? We have to make sure that the fillers are each doing their job, that the binder is anchoring the whole experience and the blend, and that the wrapper opens the cigar and creates a very enticing experience from the start. So what happens in Silk is that the flavors move between toasted wood, cocoa, earth, and restrained spices. Why? So that no single note is going to overpower the rest. So they're all working together. And that's one of the main goals that I had in creating this blend and in listening to people who were giving me feedback along the way. It was very important that this cigar made the best use of the tobaccos, right? To just create that kind of flow experience that I hear so much about from smokers. So the transitions in this cigar are deliberate rather than dramatic. The smoke remains clean, focused, and consistent, and finishing with clarity and poise. It's an elegant smoke and truly very enjoyable. So in closing, I guess that you come to the conclusion that silk is not a bold statement. It's all about harmony, right? How all of the tobaccos are working together. The wrapper, the binder, and the fillers work in concert, using structure, balance, and a lot of patience to deliver a refined, very elegant, evolving experience designed for slower and more attentive smokers, in the sense of wanting to take it slow and enjoying all of those flavors that come into play with the different tobaccos involved. So thank you everyone for joining me. Again, please don't forget to subscribe, and very important, try Silk. It is a limited production. So at any given time, there could be some at your local retailer. We hope you enjoy it, and most importantly, please share all of your feedback with me. And if there's any videos in particular you'd like for me to do, or any inside the blend with any cigars of ours that I haven't done already, let me know as well. Take care, everyone.